All right, welcome to today's class. It's called Get the Sludge Out. We'll take some kind of more of a mobility type actions today to really get everything moving and cleared out. So let's start with the neck. We'll come to kind of I call this the preset before we do the reset. So I'm going to come onto a block so that I can really feel my whole column of posture. And I'm just going to take my arms up over my head, fingertips toward the air to really feel and really like connect with this idea of being this long column today. So I'm really just making my fingertips reach up, feeling that rib cage lift, starting to slide my head back and identify that triple S posture. And this kind of action of getting taller, getting bigger, starting to cement in my mind of this long, incredibly functional posture. And then I'll draw my hands down, checking again in with the head. Make sure it's slid all the way back for this neck release. With hands interlaced behind the back, draw your hands onto your right hip. So they come all the way over, right elbow is out. Then start to slide your right elbow back until it's comfortable. And then right ear toward right shoulder. So the work is coming on the left side now. Start to relax the face and jaw, just remembering that fascia all connects. And what we're doing is starting to break up and loosen the fascia that got irritated in the evening with sleep or with that kind of daytime forward neck syndrome. And then you can start to take your nose toward your shoulder, finding some different places to access the neck. All the while keeping that columnal spine super long, really stacking the facet joints. Some more fun anatomy to think about. I kind of picture each of the vertebrae like a dinosaur skull. They have these really kind of funky shapes to them. You can kind of picture how some of them are angular, some of them are a little more pointy. And when they stack just right, they're very happy. And start to work your head back to the center and neutral. And then we'll release and shoulder roll in between the sides, really breaking everything up. Just noticing how one side feels and the other. And then take your hand behind and really make sure that head is restacked before you interlace your fingers behind your back and slide over to the left hip and then left ear toward left shoulder. Coming right into that loosening through the jaw, softening in the face. Big breath. And then as you're ready, nose starts to shift toward the shoulder. Really de-sludging the neck here. Check for that long spine. Make sure you're not shifting forward into old habits. Good, and then the head draws back to center, release the arms and get some good shoulder rolling in, breaking everything up and getting that sludginess out. Good, and then we'll come onto our backs with our block underneath the sacrum. And we'll do a little supported bridge action today. So I like to first set my triple S, really making sure my head is in line so that I know that my hips will be all lined up once I come onto my block. And you can even lift the flesh of your glutes off a little bit and then tap them on, because with the block under the sacrum, sometimes the glutes think they get to rest here, but they don't. Good. Take your hands onto your thighs and press your hands down into your thighs and then bring your glutes up to kind of match that so they're equal and opposite. Lift and spread the toes out and then press the feet down and dial out the feet energetically to turn on that lateral part of your glutes, glute max. Good. And then we're going to march the feet here. So you might slide your feet in just a little bit And then press down on the left leg so that it's your standing leg, and we'll lift the right. Keep firing the left glute. You can tap it as you do this, and then switch sides. Just slowly marching, feeling that hip hinge really happening. I like to slide my fingers right into my hip to feel my femur bone and hip bone and know that my pelvis is really stable. So with one hand, I'm tapping, and the other hand, I'm sliding into the hip crease to get really like aware of it. And then we'll add a small action with the left side, taking your foot in, your knee out for external rotation, and then really carefully and slowly taking your foot out slightly, feeling the internal rotation. A couple more times. We're not going to end range here. Keep tapping on everything on that right side, and then set it down. Just a gentle warm up, gentle mobility. So tapping on everything on the left side and gently moving. Being really careful if you have any injuries on one side. Moving not to end range, just a little teaser saying this is proper motion here. Good, and then we'll slide the block out and hold the glutes up, that low glute bridge, stretching out the fingers for weight bearing, starting on the left side. And just come into your breath as you open up here. And we'll switch to the right side. Good, and then start to come down. Take the block again and we'll slide it right up to the pubic bone. Legs come off the mat this time. And you can just bring some gentle bend in the knees. They don't have to be locked out by any means. And then knees and hips are in alignment here. Interlace the hands behind the head. Big breath in. And as you exhale, come up, elbows come toward each other, hugging around the whole forehead. Bring the abdominal wall in and down. Squeeze the block. Inhale, come down. Exhale, come up. Let the head rest in the hands. Squeeze the block, draw in and down. Same thing we did. And then we'll add on. First, come down and inhale. And then exhale, fire everything up in the deep core. And slide the legs away just a little bit. It can be 1 inch, it can be 2 inches. Squeeze and hold at this space. Inhale, bring it back. Come all the way down. Exhale, come up, same thing. Slide the legs away, squeeze the block, draw in and down in that diamond of the core. Maybe some shaking going on, that's good. Draw it back up, inhale, come down. We'll add on one more time. Exhale up. Slide the legs away. Extend the left arm toward the feet. Replace it. Extend the right arm towards the feet. Replace it. Slide the legs back to neutral. Inhale, come down. Last time. Exhale, come up. Send the legs away. Extend the left arm. Twist a little bit to the right. Come back. Replace the arm. Extend the right arm. Twist a little bit toward the left. Woo. Come back to center. Replace the legs. Inhale, come down. Great. And then we'll replace the block to the side. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock and roll on that sacrum. And then feel your abdominals engage again as you come up to all fours. Bringing yourself into your quadruped, feeling the length through the spine. That same idea we started with, where the spine becomes this really long column. And we'll stack the shoulders over the wrists and then slide the knees slightly forward of the hips. Yes, good. A little bird dog today. We'll take the left leg out, let it hover. And then shift everything so you're neutral and engaged through the core. Add the right arm if you like. Option to stay long and think about that long column, or you can start drawing in and out, starting to feel the sludge start to move out of the system as you bring some hydration to everything. Good. And we'll set the right arm down, followed by the left leg. Restack, get long, and then extend the right leg out. Left arm is optional. And then staying here to really emphasize length, draw the head up, and option to draw elbow to knee. Good, get long again. Set that back down, and then come into downward facing dog and pedal the feet out. We'll walk the hands to the feet for happy squat. Take the hands over to the right side and you'll have a big tissue pull on the left. So you can use a block if that's too much. I'll show you what that looks like. It should be a pretty big breakup of that fascia we were talking about in the beginning of class. It's all connected together. And then you can walk the block to center. Really find that length again, that columnar spine, and then walk it over to the left side, pulling on the tissue of the right side. Good, and then we'll come up to standing, feeling our length, and you can high step, just like we did in bridge, marching the feet, marching the legs toward the front of the mat, and we'll come into our sequence here. Good, so soften the knees and feel the tailbone long and the diamond of the core engage just a little bit. It's like just about 20% here. Glutes are on. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands into the hip creases as you send your booty way back, finding a nice bend in the knee. Hands come to the floor for balance. Right leg steps back. Knee to the mat, toes stay tucked under, finding your 90-90 lunge. Slide your head back, gather through the core, pull everything back for stability, almost scissoring the legs. Yes, beautiful. So we'll take some de-sludging, get the sludge out actions of kind of cross-country skiing the arms. Thumbs stay up on top, and we just swing it. Feel that whole core hug in for stability. Excuse me. Should feel really good and free. The torso turns, but the pelvis stays neutral and held. Good, and then now come to stillness with the arms and turn a big turn to the right for side lunges. Now these can be low or high. Keep them nice and slow and juicy, really hydrating the tissues here with your movement, getting the sludge of the deep flexors out. Watch the head, let the head be chin toward chest, focusing on that column of the spine again. Then we'll hold to the right side. Just like we did in happy squat, walk the fingertips away. And this can be done on a block too. I can feel, I'll show it with a block. It feels really good with the block, either at the second setting or the third. Here's third setting. Good. And then we'll walk the hands forward. Keep the spine long with this transition, coming into a lunge. So lift through the back of the throat, or the front of the throat, right? Or at the throat, same thing. And then drop the right knee down to the mat for modified side plank. So plant the hand, it can go on a block, working to keep curving out of this spine here, right at the thoracic spine, pressing in and shifting. As you shift, lean into this whole side. So the right Scapula is on the back and you're hugging at tricep and bicep. And then you can begin to lift and lower this back foot, or you can come to stillness and drop the head and get even more of a neck release. So see what your kind of potion is today. If you want your glutes really on, you can lift and lower. Maybe you do all of these actions. Good. And then we'll look down and take the left foot forward, coming into high crescent lunge. So let's pause here and take a buttress of the right hand on the thigh to press up into high crescent lunge. So left foot is forward and press down to lift up. Good. Really stabilizing everything. And reach the fingertips up to the sky, pressing into the back foot, scissoring everything together. Deep core is on, long stack. And swing the arms. Getting the sludge out. Feel the whole pelvis balanced and the torso turning. We'll take the arms behind the back and interlace them, leaning forward. Think about a long spine here as you come into a devotional high crescent lunge. Check in with the chin, getting really long. And then you have the option of keeping the hands where they are and playing with some balance into airplane, or you can create this buttress again with your right hand on the thigh, left hand on top. Press down to get long and lift. And this is just a play, so just make it fun. You got to commit a little bit to the pressing down action. Land the back foot, warrior two. Yes. So left foot forward, warrior two. We'll reverse. Take a few breaths here, getting really de-sludged through that side waist. And then come forward to get the other side, warrior variation. Same action, so press down through the thigh to lift the torso up and get really long. Slide the head back. Good, come into warrior two again. Feel the length of the arms away from the torso. Hands come to your waist, step forward, front of the mat. We'll add some action here of going from Tadasana to a heel lift to happy squat. So make this happy squat as big or as small as you like, just getting some action of sending the booty back and keeping the knees in line with the ankles. Just kind of creating some memory here. Watch the head. We'll take two more. Each time really hitting Tadasana first before you lift up on those heels. Yes, beautiful. And then we'll come into Tadasana to set up for our second side. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, right into that happy squat. Fingers reach toward the mat, get long in the spine, lift through the throat. Left foot back, knee to the mat. 90-90 lunge. Hug everything in, pull the front foot back, hand to the back of the head, finding that whole column of the spine. And then we'll get the sludge out with some swings. Let the torso move just like you're cross-country skiing. Pelvis is steady, front foot pulls back, legs are scissoring together. Left glute is on. Slow the arms down, let them dangle. Big turn to the left this time, side lunges. Let the spine get long. Working on this whole long spine, the whole class. Watch the chin. And then this time we'll hold to the left leg. Use your block if you like. Just holding and releasing here. A nice breath. We'll walk the hands forward, finding our lunge with the right foot forward. Find your long spine here. Use your blocks as you need to. Pull in through the throat and really find some space between the shoulder blades so that the shoulder blades on the back and it's almost like a cobra chest. Knee to the mat. Lean into the left hand as you slide the right foot back, modified side plank. Get everything in line here. Find that column. Leaning into the whole left shoulder blade and that kickstand of your foot. So options to release your head, option to pulse your leg. Good, it'll be a big step forward for high crescent lunge. So we'll pause in our 90-90 squat and then option to set the hands down to come up, or you can take your left hand, right hand, press down to lift that back knee. Set the back foot for high crescent lunge. Arms come up and we'll swing it. So much space now through that side body. Get some more swing in. Everything is getting unstuck, desludged. Good, and then we'll hinge forward, taking the hands behind us for a devotional posture here. And then you can play with your airplane. So either coming right up or using your buttress. Do what feels right to you. Making space, getting long, feeling the column of the spine today. And then back foot lands, warrior two. Head slides back. Glutes are on, and then we'll reverse. Come forward for a couple breaths, getting the other side, press down, lengthen diagonally. Good, and back to warrior two. Restack the head. We'll shift forward, Tadasana. Pause for a moment. Soften the knees, slide the head back. Turn on the glutes and then come up on the balls of the feet and into happy squat. Just moving slowly and like with a lot of intention through these two poses. The brain loves repetition, so it knows where you're going. One more cycle. And we'll meet in Tadasana. Step the feet a little wide and we'll swing the arms from side to side. Keep the knees soft because the knees, and then you can pick up each foot as you move. The knees just want to move backward and forward. They don't want to be tugged to the side to give them a little bit of leeway here so they don't twist. Really getting your last bit of de-sludging out. And then we'll come to stillness, making our way onto our back. Take the feet wide as the outside of the mat. And send the legs over to the right, tapping on the left glute for a supine twist. Really get it on at 100%. Then the arms can slide up over your head. You can join your fingers in a fist. Keep the torso lifting away from the pelvis. And the pelvis is really holding strong in this neutral position. Chin draws down. Nice, even breathing. Come through center And come on to the other side. Release the fingers so that you can tap on the right glute. And then extend the arms overhead again. Keep the legs really firm and active through the glute so that you're not flopping into your ligaments. And then release, coming back. Finding your triple S for a moment. You can find some traction by pressing the thighs away, getting really long through the spine. Chin drops. You can feel the whole diamond of the core holding and deepening here. Then, just like we started, one leg at a time marches up, and we will rock and roll on the sacrum, finding that like delicious bit of space there. Now that we're desludged. And then come into happy baby. It's really happy squat on your back. Take your thumb and slide it between each of your toes. And then if you can take all of your fingers between your toes, which is actually kind of fun to try and thread them through. Playing with some space there. Good. And then release the legs and set yourself up for Shavasana. Your blocks right underneath your pelvis. Open the palms, close the eyes, and release everything here deep into the mat. The big audible exhale. Let's start to bring some movement to your fingers and toes, slowly awakening. Bring one knee up at a time, sliding your blocks to the side. And hug your knees into your chest. As you're ready, come over to your side. Come up to seated. And we'll close class just by coming into this action of finding the long column of the spine. Feeling your sit bones first, and then your pelvis stack over them. Feeling the middle back, the upper back. The scapula hugs onto that upper back. And then the skull sliding back, the gentle chin drop. Getting that nice stack. Draw your hands to your heart center. Namaste. So glad you could be here